Hi guys, I am Vitold, and let's face it, when you're shopping for an adventure bike, what you're really saying is more like, I want something that can look like it can cross the Sahara, but also get me cappuccino in Milan without spilling a drop. And in this gloriously practical segment of do-it-all machines, two names keep coming up, the Ducati DesertX and the KTM 890 Adventure R. Now, these aren't just any adventure bikes. Oh no, these are two of the most hyped, high-riding, heat-generating and arguably overcomplicated motorcycles you can buy right now. They both promise rally-ready performance, dirt road domination and a daily usability sort of, while making sure you sweat like you're competing in Dakar, even if you're just riding to the supermarket. But which one actually delivers on the fantasy of rugged freedom without my voice has become weird? Which one can do that without making you question all your life decisions after 20 minutes of stop-and-go traffic? I've ridden them both, I've measured the leg burns, I praised and I cursed at the displays, and nearly sprained my back at red lights. So buckle up, mentally obviously, because we're diving headfirst into separate categories of head-to-head adventure motorcycle madness, so that you know which one would suit you better. Remember, we are all different, so you may perceive the same things differently. The thing that's helping me make those comparisons is that I've ridden all adventure bikes from the mid-size and large segments, so it gives me a bigger picture. And all of that is for you guys. So let's take off. Number one, engine and performance. The beast that can either launch you into the orbit or can roast your thighs like Sunday chicken. The Ducati DesertX gives us a V-twin, which is a rare sight in this class nowadays. It is 937 cubic centimeters, 110 horsepower and 92 newton-meters of torque. That is no joke. On paper, it sounds like a well-caffeinated greyhound, and honestly, the bike rips when it wants to. But there's a catch. Below 4000 RPM, it behaves like it just woke up after a long nap. Grumpy, slow to respond, and unsure whether to stall or continue living. For the first few minutes after a cold start, it's basically trying to ghost you. Add to that a ride-by-wire system that feels more like a ride-by-wishful thinking, and things get odd. Then there's the engine heat. We're talking free leg waxing levels. Meanwhile, the KTM 890 Adventure R gives us an inline twin with 889 cubic centimeters, which might sound boring compared to Ducati's V2, but this thing is smoother than Beyoncé's legs. The 105 horsepower and 100 newton-meters of torque feels sharper, more usable and more mature than Ducati's engine. It doesn't stumble at low RPMs like Ducati, and the proactive traction control makes it feel almost psychic. Stock tires do let it down during hard pulls, but overall this engine is a dream. Also, yes, it gets hot, even more than Ducati. Like wear only fireproof gear hot. Still, KTM wins here. Number two is handling. So which one dances better in the twisties or on a muddy trail? Well, one's got weird rhythm while the other is still looking for the beat. The DesertX is wonderfully neutral and it obeys your inputs like a golden retriever. It's got confidence, at least once you're already moving. Now at walking speeds, it's more like a shy cat that may or may not run into traffic. You need to encourage it to lean into tight corners or city maneuvers. At higher speeds though, it stabilizes. A KTM on the other hand is precise. Not quick, not super nimble, but surgically correct. It feels stiff and a bit awkward, mostly because the foot pegs are up in your kidneys and the handlebars are low enough to scratch your feet. But if you're already rolling and not too busy doing Pilates on the bike, it delivers consistent handling. Winner? I would say it's a tie, as both lose points for different sins. Suspension. Now we enter the land of bounds. The DesertX offers a soft, floaty ride. With 23 centimeters of front and 22 centimeters of rear wheel travel, it eats up bumps like popcorn. The bike floats just enough to feel luxurious without becoming a Titanic on waves. You will need tools or a coin to adjust the front suspension, which is less convenient but not tragic. It feels composed, it feels plush and very premium. Its ground clearance is 25 centimeters. KTM says Screw comfort and goes straight for stiff. With 24 centimeters of suspension travel and 26.3 centimeters of ground clearance, which could embarrass most SUVs, it's ready for airborne adventures. But on the street, it's jumpy. Like, just had 3 Red Bulls, kind of jumpy. The upside, you can adjust everything easily by hand. The winner, definitely Ducati DesertX. 4. Seat and position comfort. This is where both bikes remind you that adventure isn't always that fun. The Desert X feels relatively comfortable if you're over 180 centimeters tall or 6 feet tall and have thighs forged in Italian marble. Seat height is 87.5 centimeters, which is just slightly too tall for flat footing for many people, actually. And the tank is wide enough to qualify as its own continent. I am 1 meter 83 centimeters tall or 6 feet tall, by the way. Still, the seat padding is decent and the forward leaning position can be fixed with a handlebar riser. Hopefully there is one, and some yoga being done on board. You'll want the foot pegs lower as well, but at least your back is not crying. KTM? Oh boy. With a seat at 88 centimeters and no adjustability like in Ducati, it may be a nightmare for some riders. The foot pegs are so high that you feel twisted like a pretzel. The handlebar is quite low, so good luck trying to ride standing up without headbutting your own spine. The seat is hard and flat, and if you are shorter than an average NBA player, you might find yourself upside down during stops. It's not very comfortable on the KTM. Winner, Ducati DesertX, and my electrically adjustable office chair from Power Seats. Check it out. Check its functions at powerseats.eu. This is some kind of interesting stuff. Then let's move to wind protection. So if you think adventure bikes would be built to take on storms, then would you be right? Not really. The Desert X's windscreen is non-adjustable and the wind doesn't go around you. It fights you. It's loud and turbulent on this bike, like sticking your head out of a moving bus window. Then there is the KTM. Clear airflow, solid protection, and it doesn't slap your helmet like the Ducati. It's not perfect, but it gets the job done, quietly and without drama. Just like a proper windscreen should, I feel. Just without adjustment as well, unfortunate. Winner, KTM, definitely. Brakes, well, in the stopping department, it's another neck-and-neck situation here between Ducati and the KTM, because Ducati's front brake is sharp and confidence-inspiring, though the front suspension dives like a dolphin every time you squeeze that lever. The rear brake is just okay, which is fine since most riders are front-biased anyway. KTM's brakes are similarly effective, though access to the rear one is hard because of those super high foot pegs. The ABS works fine, and while the front suspension doesn't offer a dramatic dive like in Ducati, the initial feel of the rear brake might make you question your brake pads, while they are okay. The front one is strong and easy to dose. Winner, I would say it's a tie. I don't see very huge differences. Let's move to drivetrain, where both run chains, both are standard solution, both need lube. Moving on, because it's a tie. Fuel tank, 21 liters for Ducati, 20 for the KTM. It's a small win for Ducati, but they win nonetheless. So now weight. The Ducati weighs 223 kilograms wet and feels top heavy. KTM, while it weighs dry 200 kilograms, it ends up around the same weight when filled up with fluids. And yes, somehow it also manages to feel like you're balancing on a rope when on it. Both are tall, heavy machines with high centers of gravity, but the Ducati manages it weight just a tiny bit better in my opinion. So yeah, winner. Slight edge to Ducati DesertX, I would say. The next category is tech, and this is where we dive into the menus. And by menus, I mean tech rabbit holes that may require a PhD to navigate, especially on a Ducati in this case, because Ducati's display is a small fonted, confusing, and buried under layers of hidden menus like a digital treasure map. You get plenty of features, but the time needed for accessing them might make you miss your next appointment. There's no killer stuff in the end, there's no tire pressure monitoring system, but plenty of riding modes, for example, and other general basic stuff, which is generally standard in this category. KTM offers a crisp screen with actual readability, a more intuitive interface, and similar features. The riding tech is executed better here in my opinion, and that's what matters. The equipment basically matches itself in both bikes. Winner, KTM 890 Adventure R, thanks to its fantastic display and clear menus. Sound. Here you would think the V2 Ducati would sing like Pavarotti with an exhaust. Instead, it's more like a raspy espresso machine. It's charming but not thrilling. The KTM, it hums along like it's working a double shift and trying not to wake the baby. Both could use an aftermarket exhaust. Let's be honest, a winner, well, I would say it's a tie. Nobody here is winning a Grammy. Moving to design, and finally, the beauty pageant. The DesertX looks like a love child of Dakar and Star Wars speeder. It's retro, it's rugged, and with a paint texture that makes you somehow want to lick it. It's cool, it's all exotic, it has presence. While the KTM, well, it looks like an angry bug. A solid, strong bug, but a bug. The front fender is awkward, and the overall design lacks some character. It looks like a mosquito, and I'm realizing it. So the character is there as long as you're into post-apocalyptic farm equipment. I would say it's a hard sell. Winner, Ducati DesertX. Now, price and value for money. Here we finally have something that's close to Ducati's price tag, almost. Ducati still manages to be 4% more expensive than KTM, both being ridiculously priced. Now, in terms of value, they should be close also in terms of perceived reliability of the products of both brands, I think. So, winner? Let's just let the cheaper win. KTM is that one. In the last category of this comparison, which is the X Factor, where in this department, Ducati scores thanks to its amazing suspension comfort, while KTM rocks it with its punchy engine. Ducati's power plant isn't much behind, while suspension comfort is hardly something that excites so many of you, and still not some new technology utilized to bring emotions through the roof there. But combine that with the look, with the name of Ducati, with being the G-Wagon of motorcycles, I would say it's a tough call, but I would say that Ducati DesertX, just looking at it, it makes me more excited about jumping on it, and so it would be my winner in this segment. So Ducati wins in suspension, seat and position comfort, fuel tank, weight, design and X Factor. KTM scores in engine and performance, wind protection, tech and value for money. There were quite a few ties. So there you have it, guys, a beautiful breakdown of two of some of the most talked about adventure bikes on the market. The Ducati DesertX brings Italian flair, it brings premium feel and comfort where it counts, while the KTM 890 Adventure R fights back with its engineering, better tech, and that firecracker of an engine. But here's the deal. No bike is perfect, and none of these definitely is perfect. The Ducati makes your heart flutter, but asks for compromises in tech and heat departments. The KTM may be the smarter machine on paper, but it's also more demanding on your body, especially if you're not built like an acrobat. At the end of the day, it's about what makes you want to ride more. For me, the DesertX edges it out by a bit. But I would never yell at anyone for picking the KTM. It's raw, it's ready, and it's a good time if you can deal with the quirks. However, I would recommend that you look at the brilliant 890 Adventure without the R version before going for the KTM for the R. If you guys enjoyed this Thai roasting comparison, don't forget to like, subscribe, and maybe even leave a comment about which one of these two bikes you would take on your next escape or your next cappuccino run. Please let me know what you guys think, and if you would like to learn more about these two, check my full honest reviews of them that are linked in the description of this video. Until next time, ride safe, maybe pack some heat resistant pants.